Just harvested 7 of the grow bags. I still have about 9 left. These ones are all still pretty green, these 3, and then these 6 over here. They're starting, one of them is starting to go yellow, but these ones still look pretty healthy. So these are the ones that I'm going to have Jay move into the greenhouse, so they'll keep going to help them live their full life. Once they start dying back, then I'll harvest those. I did want to show, so these are the plants, and the potatoes grow off the roots. So you can kind of see here, there's a little baby potato growing. So a little vein will come out, and then a potato will grow. So I pulled the greens. Potatoes are a pain to get out of your soil once you plant them in the ground. So by doing them in the grow bags, that'll help control it a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the plants. Those will go over the bank, not into the compost, because they have all those little nodes on them. The bags, some of them will actually get tossed because they got ripped. Some of them will go into a bleached water solution and then washed out really good so we can reuse them next year. And then what I'm using is the tractor over here. As I'm emptying the potato bags out, this soil I'm going through and I'm sifting through it, looking for any of those little baby potatoes, making sure that any of the main roots get taken out. And then this soil is going to go in as filler, and we're going to mend it over into the field garden where we grow corn, because that's easier to weed. If we start seeing potatoes come up over there, it's not a big deal. But this compost we won't reuse in our raised beds. So 1 seed potato per bag, and I actually wanted to show you guys this. These are the original seed potatoes. Usually they get really mushy, and you can see like this one could actually get replanted. If I had another 90 days, 110 days, I could plant this and it would actually grow more potatoes. Same with this guy. You can see here. So what I did, I kind of sectioned off each grouping here is from a bag. So some of them only had 3 potatoes, but these ones are pretty big. And these are russets and Yukon Golds here. And then I collect the baby, the really small potatoes, and we'll have those for dinner tonight. Just baked whole. They're really good either on the grill or baked. Olive oil, a little bit of salt, garlic, pepper, and I like fresh parsley on them. But so there's my 7 bags of potatoes, and that's how much I'm getting out of each one. I did not water these consistently, which is the biggest thing with potatoes. And we had this very invasive, I can't remember what it's called, it's like an Asian berry bush or something like that, kind of grow over the potato bags. So I had to, actually pull them out and fold the bush back. So they were blocked in sun also, which is a double not good. But for low maintenance, getting, about one meal, 1 to 2 meals per bag, that's not too bad, because you can do half a seed potato per bag, as long as there's little eyes sticking out. You want to make sure that if you do cut the seed potatoes in half, that you have these eyes on both parts. You can see like this one, they only have it on one side. If you left these 2 out in the sun for a little bit, they'd start getting nodes all over, and then you could cut them and replant. But normally the seed potatoes get really mushy. I threw those away. I didn't bother saving them. Another reason to wear gloves when you're doing this part. So that's my potato harvest so far for today. Next up, I'm going to come over here and harvest this bed, which has Yukon Gold russets and the blue Adirondack, the purple ones that I really like. We've been stealing potatoes out of here for a while. These were actually planted, I think, about 1 to 2 weeks ahead of the grow bags. So these ones should be more mature. And again, different style because I'm growing them actually in the raised bed. These ones got watered a lot more consistently since I was over here watering the main garden anyways. So we'll see how that goes. All right, I am making pretty good progress. Look at all these potatoes. Some of these are huge. As I go through this, I figured I'd show you guys. So grab the stems, the group, and pull. I usually shake it a little bit loose. Then you're gonna start seeing the potatoes. And then if you shake it on the ground, the potatoes will come right off. You can pick off these little tiny ones. They're really, really delicious in flavor if you bake them whole. So I usually just scrape those off. And then got all of these that I'll pick up in a little bit. I should have grabbed the wheelbarrow. But so now I have these potatoes that came right off the plant. Little guys. This is part of the seed potato. You can see it's kind of mush. It's pretty rotten at this point. The worms love it. So sometimes you'll find a whole bunch of worms in that. And then with my hands, because I don't want to scrape the potatoes, I'll dig around where the plant came out. And keep on finding more. This bed I did overpack a little bit. So as I dig around, I might start stealing potatoes from this plant. But once I get all of these out, I'll come back through and sift through the soil. And then we'll actually amend the soil. And then we'll be adding compost up to the top again also. Getting it ready for the winter. So, again, just pulling, shake, check for the little guys. Put the weeds over here, the tops, the greens. And then dig. When you use tools, if you end up scraping any, you want to inspect them all after. Any that do have scrapes, you're going to want to use right away. And I don't wash the potatoes, so I'll just leave the dirt, kind of brush the dirt off a little bit, lay them out on trays, and let them cure in a, they say a high humidity area. We don't really have a high humidity area here at the house, so we put them in the garage and let them cure like that. And cure for I think like 2 weeks or so. And then at that point we will move them into the other garage, the little garage. And store them for the winter. Try to keep them cool at that point. And go from there. But this is a lot of potatoes. This is a lot more than I thought. We'll see how much we actually end up using and needing. Probably give some away. But I'd say this is a success. I'll check back and show you when I finish digging all of the bed. All right, I finished pulling the potatoes, and oh my god, I have so many. So, blue Adirondack, russets here. Look at this one. That's crazy. And then Yukon Golds. The blue Adirondack, I've heard mixed reviews on whether or not it'll store well, so we'll try to eat those first. They have a really good flavor baked, so I love those. And then I've got all these little tiny ones that we'll cook up for dinner. So pretty excited. This is in the 9-in-1 raised bed, Birdies bed from Gardener Supply. The the rest of the beds are 8-in-1s from Epic Gardening. But for the smaller bed, this is quite a bit of a harvest, considering I've probably been pulling potatoes out of this bed for the last month while we wanted to eat them. So really excited, pretty happy with this. And now they'll go into storage.